Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the OSU Mapcast. I'm Cinnabun, and today in this episode I'm joined by new Beatmap nominator Wafer. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing really good. Busy day today, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, getting right started into questions here. How did you first get into OSU?
Well, I wanted to get better at CS:GO. I imagine a lot of people started OSU like this. And around the time I saw a lot of like Wub Wub Wolf videos on YouTube. I thought it was really interesting, so I downloaded the game. And I was really bad at it, of course, but I only stuck around because one of my friends also had OSU, and we just 1v1'd a lot in multis. So, yeah, he beat me often. So, I kept playing by myself so I could try to beat him, and eventually I got better at the game than him. And then he quit because he kept losing to me. But yeah, that's how I got into OSU, I guess.
Fair enough. And what are some things you do outside of OSU?
Outside of OSU, not much really. I watch YouTube. I play some games with my friends, and occasionally I go fishing or something.
And how did you get started into mapping then?
I remember seeing Maon. I think that's how you pronounce it. Maon. His drop pop candy map. And I thought it was really cool. It's obviously not too great of a map, but when I was a newbie, I thought it was a really cool map, and I really liked the song a lot. So I wanted to try and make a difficulty that I could pass. So yeah, that's how I got into it, and then I just kept going after that.
You've just been mapping. How many maps have you done?
Oh, I don't even know. Probably somewhere like 300 total.
And did you like go into modding from mapping?
No, I kept mapping, and then I realized to get your map rank you had to get mods, so I kept doing M for M's or mods for mods, and that's how I got into modding originally.
And was there like any big reason or anything that you had to go for BN, or you just like kind of wanted to get it?
To be honest, I kind of just wanted to get it, but I also wanted to help some friends out with ranking their maps. And as a new mapper, I struggled with ranking my maps, and I got ghosted by a lot of BNs, or I got ignored. And I wanted to make a difference and like help out new mappers and make people feel like welcome into the community when trying to rank their maps.
Yeah, that is one way to do it. A lot of BNs do that, and it's really sweet. So what was the process that you went through from applying to like BN and to like where you are now with actually getting it?
Ooh, it's kind of tricky. Let me think about it. So I started modding. I wasn't very good at it, and I had some like mini mentors. They would help me out with some modding, but yeah, it wasn't much help. So I applied for feedback August of last year, and of course I got denied. And the feedback wasn't super helpful. It was just don't focus on irrelevant points like spacing. And then September I got mentored by Nautamori, and he helped me a lot with modding and figuring out what to mod, how to word, all that. And then I applied again 5 months ago, and I got denied still for modding irrelevant points and having some flawed logic. And then, I sat down, I was like, okay, time to really practice modding, time to get good at it. And then after 5 months of practicing modding, I applied again, and then, yeah, I got in.
Nice. And here you are now.
Here I am.
And were there any parts of it like that were like way too difficult, or like stuff you didn't completely expect going after it multiple times?
Motivation issues, definitely. It was really hard to stay motivated the entire time, and I felt like giving up a lot. But thankfully I didn't.
I mean, because now you finally got it.
Yeah.
And so, for those who don't know, when becoming a new BN, you're in probation for 1 or 3 months.
1 month.
Okay.
Around 1 month.
And so what does it exactly mean to be in probation?
Well, you're kind of under watch, like super strict watch. You can't nominate a map unless there's a full BN, so like 2 probation BNs can't nominate 1 map. You can't nominate hybrid maps, if I recall. And something else, hold on. No, I think that's it actually. Yeah, you can't DQ maps either. Yeah. You're just like a test BN, I guess.
Interesting. And so after that, you get evaluated again, or then go on to full BN, or you just get kicked?
You can be extended if you did like alright, but like you're not up to full BN standards.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Nice. And since you're again like being relatively new in the BNG, were there any like aspects of it that were like interesting or surprising, like behind the scenes stuff that most people aren't completely aware of?
Um, yeah, actually, a lot of people don't know that there's a BN server, or that they know about it, but they think it's super serious. But it's like super chill, super laid back, and there's a lot of tools to help out BNs, and it's not as scary as many people think it is.
Just a bunch of super powerful people gathered, discussing in ominous
Yeah.
tones.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was super new, I thought it was gonna be this super scary place where everyone just roasts each other and new mappers.
Nice. And what are like any like other like behind the scenes stuff with like how to nominate and stuff like that that they do?
No, there's nothing really behind the scenes with nominating maps. You just press the button.
Nice. And have you had like any mindset changes since getting into the BNG, like with how you handle your modding or your workflow or like talking to people and stuff like that?
Mindset changes. Actually, yeah, I actually fixed my motivation issue after getting into the BNG because I actually have incentive to mod maps, which was nice. And not really aside from that. I'm still just as lazy when it comes to actually modding the maps, but I just have higher activity.
Interesting. And like, do you how do you balance like modding and mapping?
Um, Whenever I close, I usually just spend my time mapping instead of modding, and whenever I open, I just mod, or whenever I don't feel like modding, I guess.
And how like do you still have a bunch of maps right now in the work progress?
Not really, since most of them I've nominated already. I just have a few more maps to mod, and that'll probably open up after probation to accept more requests.
And have you noticed people treating you any differently since becoming a BN, or has it stayed like mostly the same?
Ooh, honestly, it's kind of okay. I've noticed like a 50-50 split. Most people like think I'm scary or I'm scarier now, and they're kind of afraid to talk to me, which I'm not. I'm the same person, you know. Feel free to talk to me anytime. I'm always down for a conversation or to help someone out. And then the other 50% tries to like befriend me just for nominations, which is like, yeah, I'd rather you befriend me just to become friends. Because I help out friends with nominations stuff anyways. But yeah. I don't know.
Do you have like any stories about like interesting people who want like approach you for BN things?
I wouldn't say interesting people, just some interesting scenarios, I guess. Uh, Someone, you might have seen it on Twitter, but someone requested me a map like 3 times in a row, and then I didn't like a GDR's difficulty, so they removed that GDR, and then requested me the map again. And I was like, I don't want to mod this map, man. He's like, okay, leave the BNG
I
then,
did
which
see
I
that.
thought that was pretty funny.
So you
And then something more recent, actually, like a few days ago, I got requested some Shiori map. Well, I don't want to say the mapper's name because I don't want to expose them, but it was like this new mapper, I guess. He got unrestricted recently. He's like, hey, how do I rank my map? It's like, oh yeah, just ask some beatmap nominators, get some mods. He's like, oh wait, are you a beatmap nominator? Do you want to rank my map? I thought that was pretty funny since I assume he DM'd me because I was a BN.
he's like casually slipping into conversation. Like, watch this, guys.
And then the funniest part about it was the map was stolen, so
Oh, and how do you guys find that out?
I don't know, someone notified me about it. It's like, did you see this stolen map? It's like, oh yeah, I got requested this.
Interesting. And what would happen? Like, what happens with does it get like DQ'd instantly, or like did it get restricted for a stolen map, or how does that work?
You don't get restricted for a stolen map. The map just gets taken down and you get like a silence of like 5 days or something.
And so for people who like actually want to approach you normally without any weird scenarios, how do like they ask you for mods or nominations and stuff like that?
You just DM me in game or through the new site, and that's literally it. As long as you don't violate any of my rules, I'll be down to look at your map and possibly give feedback. And if I really like it, I can mod it.
And if it's hopefully it's not stolen.
Yeah.
And what are some things you look for into a map before you nominate it? Like, what makes it worthy for your nomination?
Okay, this is pretty vague, but I look for interesting ideas. They don't have to be like unique ideas, but as long as they're interesting, usually I mod the map. I know that's really vague, but
Yeah, that's fair.
my ideas of interesting change like pretty often. So one week I'll like some anime wub tech map, and then next week I'll think it's super boring.
Right. And do you have like any music bands or anything that you prefer to mod or map?
No, I don't really have any song bias as long as it's not K-pop or idols.
Still song biased.
Yeah, nothing that's shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, nothing that's K-pop or idols.
You don't like idol music?
Probably fine.
Nice. And so what like is there any styles of mapping that you prefer to like look through or?
As for styles, literally anything that's not PP mapping.
Hey, that works. And so since you're also like relatively again like new in the BNG, so for people who also like wanna like start working towards becoming a BN, what's some like advice that you have for them?
Advice for working towards BNG. I think my primary advice is to like just keep modding. Don't get demotivated. If you get demotivated, you'll slow down your progress like significantly. Just keep modding, and look at other BN mods. See what they mod, how they word stuff, and just analyze that and try to apply it to your own mods. Kind of like mapping.
Right. And for advice for mappers now.
Well, I think that same advice applies still. Just look at other mappers, see what they do, take patterns and ideas, try to replicate them in your map, see how you apply them with other patterns or your style, and don't get too attached to one map. Take your feedback that you got and then keep applying it to your new maps and then work on them.
Don't steal maps.
Yeah, definitely don't steal maps.
Can't stress that enough. So has the way you've seen the community since becoming a BN changed at all any, or is it still relatively like again how you normally seen it?
It hasn't shifted much really. I think I've just been exposed to a more special side of the community, I'd say. I think a lot more people in the community are interesting, to say the least, now that I've interacted with a lot more people, but my general view has stayed the same.
Fair enough. And do you enjoy like what's the coolest thing about since being a BN for now?
Definitely seeing the satisfaction people get from ranking their maps. It makes me really happy to be able to help and make someone's day.
Oh, that's very sweet. And so, any last things you want to mention? This is not a super long episode, but it was really cool. Nah, you're good.
Yeah,
man.
sorry, I'm kind of boring. But any last things? Not really. Just, well, like I was saying earlier, just because I have a purple name and a cool title, I'm still the same person, and I'm not above anyone, so feel free to talk to me whenever.
Nah, you're not scary at all.
Yeah, not scary.
All right, and any people or things you want to shout out?
People I want to shout out? Definitely Spose. Spose has helped me a ton since I started in my process for applying for BNG, and I don't know what I would have done without her. Demontation and Frenzy. They've known me since I basically started mapping, and they've taught me almost everything I know. Definitely shout out to them.
That's cool. Hey, shout out to them, and yeah, Spose is great.
Yeah, love you, Spose.
Hey. All right, and now we have is a final question right here. And will you nominate my map?
I gotta go. I don't have much time. I don't think I can answer that question.
I'll ask you later. All right, so yeah, this has been episode 11 with Wafer, the new BN. I appreciate it for having you on, man. It wasn't, super long, but it was a very nice episode. I'm glad to have you on, and thank you for listening. All feedback, as always, is always appreciated. Leave anything if you liked it, leave a like, and if you didn't like it, tell us what we can do to do better. And also, last week, the supporter giveaway, the winner of that is Toki. So I'll call you later after this, give you a text, and say, hey, you won. So yeah, congratulations, and stick around for more giveaways later. Bye.
Interstellaristical.